championship, like yeah. Hey, yeah. Hey, yeah. I got the feeling we taking it all the way. I gotta get to the Hall of Fame. Been on the ground with a small delay. That's what it takes when you on your job. I'm working till everything.
Good morning, guys. This is Big Al, Alan Feaster with KO Boxing, breaking news, the greatest news channel for real boxing news. Guys, appreciate you guys' support. All the comments everybody left, we really do appreciate it. Thank you guys for your support. Thanks, guys.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yeah, guys. Thanks, guys. Don't forget, hit the bell.
Ring-a-ding-ding.
Be notified when we come out with some new stuff for you. All right. And we'll get into it. We won't keep you hanging, guys. All right. What we have for you this morning, guys, is Jake Paul. Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua, odds and predictions, best bets for December 19th fight. And here we go. The Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua betting odds have been out for about 2 weeks, guys. And the Sharks or the Sharps have hammered Paul enough to push the line from Joshua from minus 2,000 down into the minus 1,000 to minus 950 range. Now, guys, the 36-year-old Joshua, who is now 28 big wins, 4 losses, and 25 KOs, will have been inactive for about 14 months when he steps into the ring with Paul. He is coming off a fight in which he was thrashed from pillar to post by Daniel Dubois, despite entering in as a minus 550 boxing betting favorite. Now, guys, Paul, who's now 12 big wins, 1 loss with 7 knockouts, was dominant in his most recent scoring as a one-sided decision over a shop-worn former WBC middleweight champion Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. as a minus 700, guys, favorite. With a tidal wave of betting action flooding in on Paul, it raises an interesting question. Is everyone wrong in assuming Jake is merely a club fighter draped in fame and fortune? This is what we want to know. Before I make my official pick in the wagering advice, I have one question for all the fanatics out there and media members, promoters, and general player haters as a whole. Why does it seem that most people dislike Jake Paul? Last I checked, the guy was never in the news for any scandals or arrest or general bad behavior recently. But guys, Paul cuts checks to his female fighters that have more zeros than ever as a true ambassador for the women's sport in boxing. But guys, Paul could go down as the most self-promoted athlete of all time. Seriously. Now, guys, besides toppling Muhammad Ali, which would inspire ambitious entrepreneurs everywhere, the kicker for me is that he has his own bookmaking service with Betr Picks. By all accounts, he seems like a cool dude with a sense of humor, a tireless work ethic as well, and he thinks he has brass balls. Hell, I want to have a beer with a G like that. Now, guys, at one point or another, almost every promoter has taken shots at him. Here is a list of promoters who have called Paul a pretender rather than a contender. Eddie Hearn, of course, Dana White, Bob Arum, Turki Alalshikh, and Lou DiBella. All I can say, guys, is be aware of the big hitting heavyweight who wants his respect. Now, guys, when a prize fighter feels he has been disrespected in the game that commands respect, he is most dangerous beyond the watch. But, guys, in 1962, Benny Kid Paret launched a homophobic slurs at Emile Griffith before their middleweight title fight, and Griffith put him in a coffin. Seriously, guys, 10 days later, he passed away. Very sad story. But guys, Paul has been disrespected in every way possible and wants to prove that he is a genuine article. Now, guys, can he really do it? We'll find out. As a former boxing odds maker, I break down what many view as David versus Goliath matchup to uncover true Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua betting odds. And we're going to go through some of their strengths and weaknesses, guys. And here we go. Strength. Joshua's contracted to come in at a maximum of 245 pounds. This appears to be a shrewd move on Paul's part. It can be argued that the 245-pound and above version of Joshua is better than the leaner 235 to 240 version. Now, guys, mass plus force plus acceleration equals punching power, speed, lead with speed. And Joshua rallies heavily on being a puncher. Paul looked formidable at 227 pounds when he fought Mike Tyson in their debut, or his debut at heavyweight, but could come in a few pounds lighter to minimize his speed advantage around 220 pounds. I would give Joshua 8.5. I would give Paul 7.0. Guys, height and use of reach. We're going to talk about that. Joshua is rangy at 6'6" with long arms, but he has never been known as a dominant outside fighter. Now, guys, despite being a shorter heavyweight at 6'1", Paul fights longer than his height suggests because he uses less squared stance than Joshua. Now, guys, despite Paul's maximizing shorter reach, this is Joshua's biggest advantage, aside from his experience. Again, we give Joshua 9.0 and Paul 6.0. And we're going to talk about right hand power, guys. Jake Paul's right hand is one of the better weapons in boxing, and he knows how to throw a straight or as a hook with real authority. Now, guys, in recent bouts, a pushing right hand amid toward the hip and rib cage area of also becomes a reliable tool. Now, guys, Paul's uppercut is a work in progress, but it lands with force. Joshua's clubbing right cross and uppercut have made him a wealthy man, we all know. But he is not an all-time great puncher like George Foreman or Ernie Shaver or Mike Tyson. Joshua also tends to push his shots under pressure with stiff arm punches, punch for punch. Joshua's uppercut gives him a modest edge. We give Joshua 9.0, guys, and Paul 8.5. We're going to talk about the left hand power. Neither fighter, guys, is going into a book of all-time great left hookers, but Paul's long whipping hook is almost on par with Joshua's more fundamental hook. Paul's jab has more snap, while Joshua's jab is heavier. Now, guys, the left uppercut is not a major weapon for either. We give Joshua 8.0 and we give Paul 7.5. Now we're going to talk about the hand speed. This is one area that even sharp boxing minds overlook. AJ is not a speed fighter, and Paul has quick hands for a heavyweight. Add in a 28-year-old reflexes versus a 36-year-old reflexes, and Paul has the advantage. We give Joshua has 6.5 and Paul 7.5. And then here's another one, guys. We're talking about accuracy. Joshua has plenty of knockouts, evidence he can hit the target, but his lack of consistent jab and tendency to lose his temper really hurt him. Now, guys, Paul will improve with more experience, but his one punch knockouts show that he knows how to set traps and land clean. We give Joshua 7.5 and Paul 7.0. And also, we're going to talk about stamina. Neither fighter, guys, is winning a marathon. I don't think he could compete against Alberto Salazar back in the day. But Joshua has slightly better stamina because of his experience. With this being an 8-round fight, guys, Paul set the distance almost perfectly because he tends to fade around the 8th. His stamina will improve, but it is a very big question mark for us. We have Joshua 6.5. We have Paul at 5.5. Now we're going to talk about the defense, guys. Under trainer Ben Davison, Joshua has fought with his hands low and his chin held high, which has created defensive vulnerabilities. He is still not an easy target, guys, because his height and punching power, but defense is not his strength. Paul's defense is still developing, but has fast feet, uses his broad shoulders well to deflect punches, and Paul also spars more often than Joshua, will help sharpen his defenses and timing. We have Joshua at 7.5 and Paul at 6.5. Now, also, we're going to talk about this. In boxing, the chin is very important. I have always believed that Joshua's chin, similar to his former UK champion, Frank Bruno. Joshua has the heat and the strength to get up, but anything with modest power tends to wobble him. Paul's chin will face the toughest test of all, but the bull-necked Ohio fighter has never been dropped badly, hurt in a professional bout. So we've got to give Joshua 6.0 and Paul 7.5. And then lastly, guys, we're going to talk about agility. Paul has quick feet and uses them well when he boxes behind the jab, although he sometimes overcommits and becomes off balance. Now, guys, also Joshua has never been known for quick footwork and does not possess much rhythm. We have Joshua at 6.0, Paul at 7.5. Guys, we're going to talk about their jab now. Joshua will never resemble Larry Holmes with the jab, despite possessing he has a 747 wingspan, guys. AJ's jab has improved as he's evolved into an outside jabber, but is not dominant as he has evolved into an outside jabber, but it's not a dominant weapon. Now, guys, we're going to talk about Paul's up jab shot from the hip makes it tricky for tall fighters like Joshua to locate, and it could find the target often to the torso as well. But Joshua's reach gives him an advantage, but Paul's jab, guys, may help him control the fight. And we give Joshua 8.0 and Paul 7.5. And then also, guys, we're going to talk about the intelligence of the two fighters. Paul is far less experienced than Joshua, as we all know, but he's awkward, tricky, and clever counterpuncher. El Gallo brought in Andy Ruiz, the man who beat Joshua, to help design a game plan similar to Ruiz's. And Anthony has the gold medal prodigy and world title experience, but does not make great adjustments in the ring. We give Joshua 8.0, guys, and we give Paul 6.0. And final tally in total, guys, Joshua has 90.5 and Paul has 84% there. Now, guys, Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul predictions and best bets. Okay? Now, guys, every battle, guys, is won or lost before it's ever fought. Famous quote. But, guys, based on my tally, Joshua is the rightful favorite, but has his odds are bloated because the public perception of Joshua is very inflated and Paul's skills are undervalued. Based on the numbers, I would peg Joshua as a 3-1 favorite. Now, guys, for the fight, Paul brought in 3 top 20 contenders to spar with. Jared Anderson is one. He's at 6'4", 255 pounds, 18 professional wins, 1 loss with 15 knockouts. Also, Frank Sanchez, 6'4" and 238 pounds with 25 wins, 1 loss with 18 knockouts. Also, we have Lawrence Okolie. He's 6'5" at 260 pounds, 22 big wins, 1 loss with 16 knockouts. Now, guys, you would be hard-pressed to find a better trio to prepare for battle in the hulking Joshua. Now, guys, statistically, guys, we're going to talk about Anthony Joshua has been one of the biggest money burners in heavyweight betting history. Now, guys, AJ lost at a 25-1 favorite versus Andy Ruiz, as a 4-1 favorite against Alexander Usyk, and most recently as 11-2 favorite against Daniel Dubois. It's not that big fella's fault that he never lived up to his gold medal expectations set as the successor to Lennox Lewis. Now, guys, we want to go on. We're almost done. United Kingdom often hypes its champions into demigods. Truth be told, now, guys, Joshua's lucky to have gotten as far as he has, having been given advantages that resemble the treatment of mob-protected fighters from the 1950s. Now, guys, to preserve matchroom boxing cash register, Joshua has had the benefit and biased referees and favorable judges in most of his bouts. Now, guys, also with Jake Paul's most valuable promotions co-hosting the event, Jake may be able to level the playing field here and during this fight. Now, guys, boxing rewards fighters who are active and hungry. But, guys, Joshua has been inactive for 454 days. And his desire to compete at the highest level is worth questioning. It can be argued that AJ is peaked when he knocked out Vladimir Klitschko in 2017. Since then, guys, he has gone through a laundry list of trainers in search of the ring identity he has never truly found. Now, guys, we also want to talk about, he started as a seek and destroy killer who walked opponents down in the past. But since Ruiz knocked him out in 2019, guys, Joshua became cautious, very cautious, and reactive, mostly boxing off the back foot insecurely. Now, guys, something left Joshua that night, and Andy Ruiz toppled him. Now, guys, bringing in Ruiz was a brilliant move by the problem child. Now, Jake has fast hands, quick counterpunching instincts similar to Andy's, and could give Joshua fits. Styles, again, guys, we all know make fights. Now, many pundits, even including me, are pointing to Joshua's destruction of Francis Ngannou and empirical evidence of what he can do against an inexperienced foe. But Ngannou fights in a completely different style. The current version of the Matchroom Machine fights with his chin up and his left hand low, which is a perfect ally for Paul's Sunday right hand, and Paul's athleticism and foot speed will also make it very difficult to set the puncher Joshua to hit a moving target. Now, guys, we get into it. Expect Paul to move consistently and use explosive bursts to prevent Joshua from finding his rhythm. While many expect a knockout, I personally believe that Paul will stick and move, clinch his way to a razor-close decision over the short track. Now, guys, Jake's flickering jab off the hip in a Paulie Malignaggi-esque way will help him dictate the pace. Now, guys, we also go on. AJ will try to transform into the hungry power hitter that applied smart pressure in his prime. But, guys, once he feels the YouTuber's heavy hands, he will be unable to block out the shadows in his mind from the Dubois knockout. Now, guys, if the fight goes to the scorecards, Joshua fails to knock Paul out, many will claim a fix is in the game. But, guys, Jake will pocket a cool 92 million, laugh, and douse himself with body spray, that is, in the eyes of the detractors who called him a fraud. Now, guys, even in the masses, if the masses refuse to give Paul proper credit after beating Joshua, one thing is certain, guys. The world will be watching whoever the most valuable promotions of boxing will fight next, who that will be. Now, guys, Joshua versus Paul best bets. We have Paul plus 550 money line. Now, guys, we have a draw plus 1,800. Tell me what you guys' thoughts are in the comment section, guys, and say goodbye to this pretty lady here today, and we'll catch you next time. Tell me who you're going to bet on, guys.
Boxing is a tough sport, and my hat go off to all boxers because you got to be a certain type of brave type of person to do boxing. Just like just like air pilots that fly the airplanes. I never want to fly an airplane. I think you gotta be a tough person to want to fly a fucking airplane. Are you kidding me? What if I push one button wrong and I destroy everybody? Boxing kind of like that. You got to put your nerves on the guy. You got to believe in yourself. Pilots got to believe in themselves to land this aircraft.
Yes.
And I believe boxers are the same way. You got to believe in yourself to land that knockout. So my hats go off to you. I wish you nothing but the luck. I've been trying to find more clips on you to watch you because like I tell KO, I'm a casual boxing fan.